Hey everyone, happy Monday. Me and my friend Ally are back and we are talking about the stories that grew us or are growing us if we're still in the middle of them, right, Ally?
Yeah, always.
And today our topic is boring is a blessing. And we really want to have a candid conversation, and we'd love for you to join us in the comments of what can you make in your life, in your business, in your relationships, everywhere, more boring and count it as a blessing. So Ally, please go ahead and introduce yourself today.
Hi, world. I'm Ally. I'm the CEO founder of The Right Place, Right Time. I am a memoir coach, ghostwriter, and author. And my mission here is to help you brave, wonderful people tell your stories that are going to change the world. Shannon, what about you? Who are you in this world? What are you doing?
Yeah, I am a joyful marketing strategist helping you with content and marketing strategies that are brilliantly boring. And we're going to talk about that today. I really am known for helping people understand how to simplify everything so they have more joy in their lives and in their businesses and in their marketing and can get on with living their best life possible.
Woo, woo, because
Yeah.
if it ain't joyful, Shannon's not doing that shit.
Not doing it. Not doing it. So, Ally, our topic today that we actually drew was boring is a blessing. What is something boring going on in your life right now? And you're just like, I'm good with it. It's a blessing.
So it's so interesting. This just happened, last week was winter break for the elementary schools that my son goes to. He's 7. And we had this plan that we were going to go, it was a staycation, but we were going to go stay overnight at a local hotel so we could use the pool because he loves to swim. And we were going to get this cool room that was called a cabana room, where it's like the room right next to the pool. So you pull open the slider and you step out and you're in the pool room. There was a deck. And I was like, oh, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to watch him swim while I'm just vegging on the deck, and it's going to be wonderful. And then he got sick, and not just a little sick, but fever to 103 for multiple days, coughing really thick. And so obviously we had to cancel our hotel reservation, and we had to cancel going to the Children's Science Museum, and we had to cancel taking him downtown to do the fun things. So all of the local outings that we had planned just were wiped right off the calendar by him not feeling well. And then at the end, somewhere in the middle of the week, I was thinking, this is actually a blessing. I hate that he is sick. I hate fevers. I hate watching my kid go through fevers. But before that break, I had really known that what I needed was to slow down and to get still and to get quiet. And I wasn't sure when the stillness and the quiet was going to come. Obviously I needed to opt into it, and I hadn't been. And him getting sick was the foot on the brakes that was nope, none of you were doing nothing. So, I mean, it was 3 or 4 days. We didn't leave the house. We hardly changed out of our pajamas. We watched movies. We played board games. We played cards. We built Legos. We baked cookies. I mean, all of life's simplest pleasures, really, all within our 4 walls. We hardly spent money. I mean, and it was so nice. It was so relaxing. And it was this is what I had been really needing and looking for several weeks. And it was just came at the perfect time, even though it was in kind of an ugly package of him being sick. But it was really, really, it was really nice to have just that many days where it was just no schedule, nowhere to go, nowhere to be, and no one to be, really. No one needing me, no one expecting anything from me, just having my mom hat on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's brilliantly boring.
Brilliantly boring. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. So for me, one of the things that I teach all of our clients is a brilliantly boring business plan. And when I first started talking about this a few years ago, it was a dumpster fire. People were like, oh my God, I don't want boring in my business. And I'm like, oh yeah, you do. Like, yes, you do. But we had to do some education around it. It doesn't mean you're bored. It means the thing, the business, the marketing is well oiled and just goes on its own. The chain doesn't fall off. The the oil cap doesn't get a leak. It's good. Like, it's just brilliantly boring. And so in the beginning, I'd say it was a dumpster fire because people were like, I don't want a boring business. But then once they started coming into our world and we helped them build brilliantly boring marketing plans, which are 90-day plans that just help you know exactly what you're doing when based on your content personality, people started coming around. And now they're even using the term like, oh, thank God, this is brilliantly boring, right? You're not having to put out fires all the time. You're not having to do like catch up work, right? Where you just wake up and you like feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. So that's been super fun. And one of the questions that I always get asked a lot is, well, where does the fun come in if this is brilliantly boring? It doesn't mean that your work isn't fun. It means you got a plan, because half the problem with people running a business is they don't have a strategic plan that's one, fun, two, joyful, and three, that's simple enough that they actually do it.
Yeah.
So that is really what was on my heart today, as far as the brilliantly boring business and marketing plan go.
Yeah, I feel like, so really like the takeaway here, like, is that boring sometimes could just mean simplicity or routine. Like, I love brilliantly boring because of the alliteration. And that's like me as a writer, like, who doesn't love some alliteration? But when you can have a system in place that you can repeat, like, that is an easier lift. And then you have fun within the system. It makes me think for me, for my business, when I run the writing bar, which is my monthly workshop subscription, we have the same thing every single hour we meet, but the content is different, right? So the hour is always broken up to the 15 minutes, the top of the hour is training, 30 minutes of writing, and then 15 minutes of coaching. We go through those 3 steps every single time we meet. But what we're talking about, or how we're getting into the material, is always different, right? The energy is different. The examples are different. What we're talking about is different. And that's where the fun and the excitement comes in. But just knowing, going into it, like, these are the 3 things that I'm going to do, and these are the 3 things that everybody's going to get, right? And then they show up knowing this is what I can expect to receive, right? So, like, Shannon, talk a little bit about like the opposite side. So like, for the business owner, the boring, brilliant plan, right, allows them to know what they're going to do and when, and it allows structure and it allows a plan and gives them a strategy. But like, what about how is it received?
Oh, how is it received when it's brilliantly boring?
Yeah.
Well, it feels very calm and not like, oh, I got to go sell something today. Let me push this out. Or, oh, we didn't do well on our launch, which happens. And now I have to like scramble around. I feel like when you have this brilliantly boring plan in place, of course, it's not like saying everything you do is going to be like $1 million success, but you can rest in the knowing that, okay, if that one didn't work so well, you got another one coming up. It's going to be okay. And it doesn't feel chaotic. It doesn't feel crazy to your audience. And this was really the place that I was in for a very long time as a creator, as someone who loves to share content and share ideas with the world. People could not actually get on board with what we were doing because it was not cohesive. It was just crazy stuff, right? So part of the brilliantly boring plan is that we have themes for the month, so people can get on board and they can get involved in the theme and they can be a part of the conversation and the connection and the community. And I think it's just so much better received, and it's just cohesive. So your message and your marketing feel cohesive to people.
It also sounds like consistency, right? Yeah. For both the business owner as well as the audience, right? Like they can expect to see you out there. They can expect that your content's going to come on a regular basis and that you're going to be, talking about X or doing Y or, whatever. I mean, I just love the idea of like boring to me right now in my life, both as a parent, but also as an entrepreneur. Boring has this kind of like, for me, it's definitely the flavor of slowing down and being quiet and still, because of the fact that there's a plan or there's things in place that are going to give me my next direction when like my juices are running low, right? Like when I can turn, and y'all, I use the brilliantly boring business plan, so I can speak as a use case. When I can turn to that and remind myself of what I'm doing next, because I already put it down on paper weeks ago, on those days where I'm like a little more empty, a little less energetic, a touch tired, but I still have stuff that I know that I need to do. Like being able to go and just refer to my main document and what I already had in place is like a mental lift, right? Like I don't have to think about it because it's already written down. All assuming you remember to look at it and you stick to the plan, which I know, Shannon, you talk about a lot. Stick to the plan. That's what makes it boring.
Oh my gosh. And this idea of slowing down, I spent maybe a couple hours yesterday looking at what I had laid out for Q2, because it's here, it's coming in April. And I was just like, something about this feels a little not aligned completely. And I said to myself, what if I just slowed everything down? Because that slowing down is often what gives us the results. And so that was really actually a fun experiment. So instead of running like a training every month, I'm going to go to one every 6 to 8 weeks, right? Just not change the whole thing, but just slow it down. And I've been having this desire for more slowness, more presence, more consistency. Those things to me are joy. More spaciousness. Those are what equate to joy to me. And then this morning I woke up and I went to my insight timer for my meditation, and I wanted to share the quote, which I just looked up based on where this conversation went. And it says, in a world addicted to speed, slowness is a superpower. And it just reaffirmed like everything that I've been kind of thinking and feeling and contemplating. And it was so nice to get that affirmation this morning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this is so funny. So I did two-way prayer this morning, which I know that we've talked about in the past. And the message that came in for me was basically, how many times do I have to tell you, this is my higher power, how many times do I have to tell you that you can choose in at any point to quiet and stillness and slowness? You do not have to wait for somebody to be sick to choose these things. You have to draw a hard line in your own boundary around time and your schedule, right? And release the idea that doing more is somehow going to create more result or more abundance or more. It's not. Like, so stop. Like, how many times do I have to like get the, like, how many times do we have to repeat this one message? And then I pulled a card. So I'm doing a 31-day mindfulness challenge. My husband got me a 31 card deck. And it's 31 mindfulness day challenge. And I decided March is 31 days. So this is what I'm going to do. And I pulled the card, and the card was literally basically to take a task that you normally do every single day and to be so present in that task that it's as if it's a brand new activity. And the back of the card description was like, take your time, slow down. I mean, it was just perfectly in line with the message that I received this morning in meditation. And then obviously the energy of this conversation. But I love that quote, like that slowness can be a superpower, because we're in a hustle culture.
Yep. Even if we've worked so hard not to be in it, it surrounds us.
Yeah. It's almost like standing in the middle of a pair of magnets, and like, no matter how much you're trying to resist, you're like sucked in that way. And then you have to kind of like reset and move back into the center.
Yeah.
So Shannon, what do we want people to be like thinking about with this conversation and posting in the comments?
Yeah, we really love for you to answer this question. How could getting things in your life and business brilliantly boring actually create more joy, ease, and freedom? And, if you have a business and you don't feel like it's boring and you feel like you're constantly like rushing around or putting out fires, I can tell you it's so much more joyful on the other side, and it takes a little more planning up front, but you're going to feel better throughout each quarter. And Ally, how about you? In terms of your work, right? The work you do with people, how does brilliantly boring serve your writers and your authors?
So I think that it's really about slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Like, I don't believe in rushing a book. I don't believe in cutting corners or taking shortcuts. I believe that every book project is different for each person, and that there's a natural kind of evolution for a book to kind of come to fruition, right? Everybody's kind of conceptual and planning phase is a little bit different. Everybody's drafting phase is a little bit different. I mean, there's a reason that some people take 20 years to write their first book and other people can do it in 8 months or less. And I think that's because everybody has their own natural rhythm and flow and their own kind of resistance, as well as their release, kind of like how they work with the material. But the way that I work with clients is to basically be very intentional about, what are we trying to do here for you? What are we trying to do for the reader? What's our main message? Okay, until we get that crystallized, let's not power through to the blank page and start typing a bunch of words. Let's have some sort of plan in place. And while it's not a brilliantly boring business plan, I call it a book brief or a book outline. And it's essentially the same thing. It's the blueprint for your book. It's knowing all the things that you could possibly know before you start drafting. Because then when you get to the page, you already have a guide. You already kind of know where you're heading. And likely in writing a book, your plan will evolve as you're working on the manuscript, because the book will whisper things to you and let you know, to kind of veer a little bit off of the original path, because your plan is abstract until you start to implement on the page. But you still need that plan. You still need that plan to at least be the initial kind of guiding force to get you going, so that you can then have more fun on the page. When people skip that step and they go right to trying to draft their manuscript, right? They're frustrated because they don't know what to say. They sit there and they stare at a blank document for way too long before they get the first word down. They'll write a little bit and then they'll jump to some other time and space, write a little bit more, don't know how these two scenes or anything connect. And it's all because there was no plan to begin with. It's the equivalent of throwing spaghetti at the wall, which we hear all the time, right? About business owners trying this and trying that and not really knowing what they're doing. So there's a lot of parallels, I think, between what you do with your clients in the marketing realm and what I do with mine in manuscript development.
I love it. And how can people learn more about you? What do you got going on in your world right now?
I am so pumped. So at the end of March, there's going to be a 90-minute author camp for the aspiring memoirist called Climb Mount Memoir. And this is where you come and you get all your survival skills to climb up the publication path, and finally commit to writing a book that will light up your world in hours. So I'm super pumped, and people are even going to earn badges for every survival skill that you attain during camp. So it's going to be super fun. March 30th is the day of the experience, but we're opening up registration this week. So I don't have the link today, but I will come back to this post and add the link as soon as that registration page is open on the 9th.
It sounds so fun.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Side note, your badges reminded me of Girl Scouts. And then
exactly.
I want to insert and say, I finally found someone to sell me some Girl Scout cookies. I bought 20 boxes.
I love it. What are your favorite Girl Scout cookies? I must know.
Oh God, I love the truffle trefoils. I love the lemon ups. I love the Samoas. I love the thin mints. I mean, there's not really that many that I don't love. I love the peanut butter ones. And my trainer was like, "You bought 20 boxes of Girl Scout cookies." I'm like, "Yep."
Yep.
Like
A
it.
box a month. I can just spread those out throughout the 30 or 31 days of the month. It'll be good. I've got my year supply of Girl Scouts cookies. Yeah. Yeah, totally. In the same thread. I mean, I won't have cookies. You can bring them to the camp if you would like virtually, munch on them while we're meeting. But I'm pretty excited about this experience coming up. Shannon, what do you got going on?
Yeah. So first, Bridget Cisco, do you know her? She's here.
Yep.
It says the name of your event, Climb Mount Memoir, is gold. She approves.
Awesome. Thank you, Bridget, for your endorsement.
So everyone, I've got a beautiful workshop coming up next week. This is one of our free workshops. It's called Joyful Email Marketing. And I'm going to help you learn how to make it brilliantly boring, and create stories and deep connection with the people on your email list, or the people that you want to bring into your email communication. And I've dropped the link in the comments. You can join us. We are gathering on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So I hope to see you all there. Stories are magic. And that is why Ally and I come together every couple of weeks to just pull a rando topic, see what comes up. And we are so happy for those of you who are joining us in the conversation. And we hope you have a very, very beautiful week this week. Sending you all lots of love. Adios, everyone.
Bye.